What if war didn't begin with kings, flags, or nations, but with hunger, fear, and the simple need to survive? Before armor, before swords, before written history, there were humans who had nothing but their hands, their instincts, and the land beneath their feet. And long before the first empire rose, conflict was already shaping who we would become. This is the story of the first human wars, not fought for glory, but for survival. Picture a world without borders. No cities, no laws, no armies, only forests, open plains, caves, and small groups of humans trying to survive another night. The sun sets, fire crackles, children sleep, hunters return empty-handed, food is scarce. Another group lives nearby. They hunt the same animals, they drink from the same river. Tension grows not because anyone wants war, but because someone will not eat tomorrow if nothing changes. This is where war begins, not with hatred but with necessity. A world of small tribes. Around 200,000 years ago, early humans lived in small nomadic groups, often 20 to 50 people at a time. Anthropologists call them bands or clans. They moved with the seasons, following animals and edible plants. There were no nations, no uniforms, no battle plans, but there was competition, food, water, shelter, mates, safety. Across Africa, Eurasia, and beyond, these pressures were universal. In Swahili, survival is kuishi. In Mandarin, it is sunsun, shenkun. In Spanish, sobrevivir. Different words. Same struggle. The first weapons. The earliest weapons were not designed for war. They were tools, stone hand axes, sharpened sticks, fire-hardened spears. But tools can become weapons when fear enters the picture. A sharpened stick used to hunt could just as easily be used to defend a cave. A stone meant for breaking bones could be thrown to keep others away. Archaeological sites show skulls with trauma marks, broken bones healed incorrectly, and defensive injuries, evidence that humans were fighting each other long before writing existed. These were not battles, they were clashes. Why did they fight? Early human conflict usually came from resource scarcity, territorial pressure, revenge cycles, protection of family, competition for mates. Imagine two tribes during a dry season. One controls the river, the other approaches, desperate. Words may have come first, gestures, warnings, but language was still developing. Misunderstanding was common. Fear spread quickly, and fear makes people act. Raid, not war. Most early conflicts were raids, not wars. A small group attacking at night, stealing food, chasing rivals away, sometimes taking captives. There was no concept of conquest, only short-term survival. In Japanese, the idea of harmony is wa. In early human life, harmony was fragile and easily broken. The birth of warriors. As conflict became more common, something new appeared, specialization. Some individuals became known for strength, alertness, courage, experience. They were the first warriors, though they would never call themselves that. Leadership began to shift. Protectors gained influence. Those who defended the group earned trust. This is the beginning of organized violence. Territory becomes important. When humans learned to control fire and return to the same locations, territory began to matter. A cave was not just shelter, it was home. Defending it meant survival for children and elders. In many cultures today, land still carries deep meaning. Tierra, Spanish, 2D, TD, Chinese, Zamin, Zamin, Persian. That connection began here. Evidence from the dead. Archaeologists have discovered prehistoric burial sites where multiple individuals died violently at the same time. Not accidents, not animals, human conflict. These discoveries challenge the idea that early humans lived in constant peace. The truth is more complex. They cooperated deeply, they cared for each other. But when resources ran out, cooperation turned inward. A global story, This wasn't happening in just one place. Evidence of early conflict appears in Africa, in Europe, in the Middle East, in Asia, in the Americas. Different environments, same pressures, different cultures, same instincts. In Arabic, conflict is sirah, sirah. In Hindi, sangharsh, sangharsh. The words change, but the meaning remains. The most important shift, the greatest change wasn't the weapon, it was the idea. The idea that another human could be a threat. Once that idea existed, it never disappeared. Over time, it evolved. Groups became tribes. Tribes became cities. Cities became nations. And conflict scaled with them. The cycle begins. Fear led to defense. Defense led to planning. Planning led to coordination. Coordination led to early strategy. The foundations of war were laid not by generals, but by ordinary people trying to survive impossible choices. No history books recorded their names, but every war that followed traces back to them. Closing thought war did not begin as evil. It began as human. And understanding that truth is the first step toward understanding every conflict that followed.